You did. Mhm. 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 Awesome. So you're familiar with BitTensor. Right. Yeah, yeah, because it was fair launch, right? Are you guys, do you, I would imagine that you guys, yeah, yeah, we know Jasmine for sure. I would imagine that you guys also invest, I mean, if we Filecoin and you guys do, I think like do Zcash and so on. Mm. Yeah. And do you guys invest alongside DCG, Barry Silver? Hmm. Yeah, correct. Yeah, 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 you're right. Yeah, so a little bit about us. So I'm Yoav, CEO and co-founder of Tao.com, and in general the Tensora Group. Before that, I ran another very different kind of industry in the consulting space, like a large company, 1,200 people that we sold to a public company in the UK. Uh, we bootstrapped the company, did not take any outside investment, and we sold it for $300 million. Life led me to BitTensor, actually to the foundation, helping the foundation, the founder there through a mutual contact that just needed help with some advisory, kind of like being a CEO. And so that's how I got pulled into this crypto AI space. And one thing led to another. And here we are with Tao.com now. And Anurag, I give perhaps like a little bit of background about you.
Sure. So nice to meet you. My name is Anurag. I'm the Chief Product Officer here at cow.com/Tensora. I started off my career at American Express as a data architect and AI ML person. They didn't call it AI back then; they called it ML. And then moved over to Facebook, where I worked as a half product, half business person, working on every single product that they had for ads monetization over the course of 4 years. Moved over to Uber, where I was head of business development for Europe and helped build out the EMEA team, and owned the global relationships for PayPal, MasterCard, and American Express. After that, built a micromobility company from pre-launch to over 400 cities, based specifically in Europe as head of business development and head of product. And after that, I had my own cryptocurrency algorithmic trading platform called Tuned, which was backed by Coinbase, Bybit. We did over $7 billion worth of transactions before the company was acquired. And since then, I've been basically consulting until I joined Tao.com. Yeah, that's basically a quick little download on myself.
Awesome. Do I understand correctly that Francisco actually sent you our deck? So I don't know if you had a chance to look at it. Happy to walk you through it. What would you prefer? Cool. Let me do that. Can you see my screen? Awesome. So yeah, I'll just go. I'll skim through it. Feel free at any point to ask questions and stop me. As I mentioned, you already know that we operate in the BitTensor ecosystem. A lot of big names are in it. It's touted as kind of like the Bitcoin of AI. For fully diluted value of like really ranges between 6 and 8 billion depending on the day, but it's definitely like there's tons of potential there. We've been doing this for over a year now. We've become a recognized leader in this space. We currently have an annual run rate of about over $11 million. And quite a bit of assets under management. We are a 30 people team, give or take, and we own the kind of key 4 assets, which are the official BitTensor wallet. Obviously, we bought Tao.com for 7 figures. Our validator is one of the largest in this ecosystem, and we are one of the 3 holders of the pseudo key for chain upgrade. And so like we are very well trusted in this ecosystem. A little bit of financial highlights, self-funded with a year worth of runway. In the past year, we have achieved or projected to achieve about 20x revenue growth from fiscal year 25. And even as we're growing, we're still kind of like becoming more and more operationally efficient as we grew our revenue quite a bit, but the cost, the OPEX cost, is actually increased only by a fifth of what the top line is. And so in terms of the leadership of the company, I think I mentioned about myself, Jack and Giles are really the guys that started the mining side of the business. So Tao.com and Tensora is really the merger that happened like at the beginning of 25, March of 25. It's the merger of 2 companies, Tensora and Arc, and we became Tensora Group, and part of that is Tao.com. Garrett is actually the ex-CTO of the Open Tensor Foundation, and we'll talk about it in a minute, still working very closely with them. Anurag, you just met, and Josh, who is the non-executive chairman, is really the guy that started Tensora with these 2 guys early on. He is the chairman and CEO, founder and CEO, sorry, of Nscale, which I think to date, like probably raised at each point more than $2 billion. Before that, he had a company, a Bitcoin mining company that he sold for quite a bit of money as well. So it's an experienced leadership group with actual track record of successful exits. And we operate, as I mentioned before, in the BitTensor economy, and that economy we think of it as like an open economy, right? With an open currency, which is Tao. It's independent, obviously, of any central government. It's open work, so there are no gatekeepers. Anyone can come in and start a subnet, mine a subnet, and so on. And of course, that also the flow of capital, like your Tao is as worthy as mine, is as valuable as mine. Sorry. Which means that rather than like the few controlling kind of like capital allocation to everyone, here it's like everyone is actually equal, and wherever the Tao flows, that's where the emissions flow as well. Oh, you wanted to ask something? And I do want to kind of like emphasize, and that's where really the big opportunity here is, that this open economy, this ecosystem is in its nascent stage. It's still early, and there's a lot of still things that are evolving, and that's where we are coming in, right? Like, we power this open economy, and our mission is to power the open economy boom with tools and services and seamless user experience and so on. Where we started actually by establishing moats in this ecosystem. We built the foundation, and really what we operated, like the assumption that kind of like fueled our operations, is that we wanted to implement a vertical integration strategy within this ecosystem, and kind of like own all the layers of the stack. It starts from the bottom, kind of like the foundation, which is really the protocol. And so, as I mentioned before, Garrett, who is one of the co-founders of Tau.com, is the ex-CTO of OpenTensor. And he really has one leg in Tau.com and one leg in OpenTensor, which is the foundation behind BitTensor, and works on a daily basis with the protocol team, with shaping like where the protocol is going, and kind of like shaping the roadmap and so on, bringing some order into that. And as I mentioned before, we hold the one of the pseudo keys for approval of upgrades. So we're there, right there with the foundation, working very, very closely on a daily basis. We also became the #1 mining team. We have some phenomenal talent in terms of AI and ML, 4 PhDs, 10 masters. We got guys from Facebook and Meta, and obviously like some top schools. We take a very kind of like partnership first approach. And so rather than just like mining these subnets, we also go and work with the subnet owners and work with them rather than against them, which is often the case when it comes to mining. We want to create added value. And in the past 8 months or so, we've generated $8 million and somewhere between 35 and 70,000 a day. We also, because we are so recognized as a strong mining team, we've been invited into a subnet advisory, and also we work with some liquid funds to advise on kind of like how to go about subnet incentive mechanisms and so on. We are there with Jacob Steves, that is the founder of the protocol, and that represents another potential revenue source for us in 26. Just kind of like leveraging everything that we learned as miners and as subnet people over the past year or so. On top of that, also, we reimagined the official wallet, the official BitTensor wallet. We have actually acquired that wallet from the foundation, and we completely reimagined it. And if you actually check it out, if you go to Tau.com and download it, you'll see that the user experience that we go with and that we advocate for is a whole different ballgame than anything that existed in this ecosystem before. And you will see that as we progress, it's also user experience that would stand out even in the DeFi space as we venture into it. And some of the tweets that you can see here, they really speak volume to the excitement that users have about what we've done with the wallet. And again, like, we're just dipping our toes. Right now, it's only for iOS. In about 6 weeks from now, it's going to also be an Android. We're doing the same thing for the Chrome extension. We have about 50,000 active users there, give or take. We're really leveraging also the Tau.com brand, that there is a lot that goes on here. Interesting fact, by the way, for you specifically, is that about 50% of our traffic actually we get from China. There is a huge opportunity here for us in terms of, obviously, because of the name of Tau, there is a huge opportunity for us in terms of that market, the Asian market, that I think there is definitely a conversation to have with you and to learn from you, since you are there, and like that's a major opportunity for us as we grow our brand. And so the last thing, I guess, is that with regards to what we've done to date, is that we are one of the largest validators. Recently, we actually became the 5th largest, beating Kraken, which is a $20 billion company with 22,000 employees. And we're actually using our wallet, and it's starting really to show the power of it. We're using our wallet to drive stake towards us away from other validators, and just saying like, hey, our APY is actually better. Why don't you come over? And people are actually doing that more and more and more. And I expect us to keep kind of going up in the in the ladder towards top position over the next 6 to 12 months. So that's what we've been doing to date. And then we kind of like taking this vertical integration approach and saying, hey, now that we actually established ourselves within the BitTensor ecosystem and we are very well regarded, we want to do and we want to implement the same kind of like strategy within the broader DeFi space and connect BitTensor and crypto AI, and I would say the open economy at large to this DeFi space, right? And so that's what's for us in 2026. And I'll fly through these really quickly, but essentially like really controlling the bridge and building a bridge that is effective, that is actually efficient in terms of if fees. Right now, the bridges are there's a main bridge here that actually for every transaction you pay 0.125 out per transaction, and we want to just like make kind of like much more efficient in terms of the cost, but also secure and audited and fast. So that's one aspect that we work quite a bit on. We are
There's only one bridge that exists in the BitTensor ecosystem. It's powered by Layer 0. But the way that it was set up, it is just not very well implemented because Layer 0 provides the infrastructure, but the company that did it, the mechanisms that they put in place is just not a scalable mechanism. So we want to build canonical bridges that actually make sense for the ecosystem.
So again, we want to introduce an order execution that is at the forefront of what's possible today. And so we're going with an intent-based execution. We are in advanced conversation to actually hire or to hire a team called Gasyard that actually built something pretty impressive in that space. And we are talking to them about coming in and kind of being part of the team and offering just much better fees to our users as we grow the brand, and also just a much faster execution. I don't know if there's anything you want to say here, Anurag, about this specifically.
Yeah. So I mean, everybody still is living in the world of traditional DEX aggregation, liquidity routing, those different moving pieces. It's still a big pain in the butt because some people can do cross-chain things, but they're extremely slow because of the bridges that exist. A lot of them are inefficient because 1 inch might have a good value one time, but then Kyber network might have a better value, or if the volume size is there. What we're doing is we're basically implementing an intent-based transaction system that will work across not only BitTensor, but Ethereum, Solana, Base, BNB, and then we'll actually be working on Bitcoin as well. So that we'll have like a holistic experience providing an intent-based system across all of them. We'll actually be our own solver to begin with, and then have an interface to work with other interested parties like Wintermute that does market making as their primary, but they actually act as solvers because they can create short positions and then play spreads in the intent world. So yeah, we're trying to do the most unique technology, and by being able to provide a system rather than it taking 60 seconds with bridges traditionally, the way that we're structuring our intent-based system using stable coin liquidity pools on each of the different chains allows us to work a little bit like TransferWise in like the TradFi market, where we send signals between chains as opposed to actual assets between chains, and that allows us to cut the speed down to less than 4 seconds for a cross-chain transaction. There's only like a wrapped USDC. Again, it was wrapped very poorly, and it hasn't been officially picked up by USDC. And so it is very nascent and open and available for having some sort of stable coin or even a yield-bearing Athena type coin in the ecosystem, which we're also interested in. And I think there's some slides on that.
Yeah. So this is kind of like how we're approaching the intent-based part. Why is it not going? Got stuck. And overall, all of this basically leads to us building just a native DEX, right? Like we look at like all major chains, they have their kind of like leading DEX for Uniswap, for Ethereum, it's Uniswap, and BNB, it's PancakeSwap, and so on. We are actually becoming and building the kind of like the de facto native DEX for BitTensor, which is Tau.com. And our intent is really like using, obviously, BitTensor is a first-class citizen for us, but also like all of the effort that we're making here, we're actually building just a big brand, right? Like Tau.com is a 3-letter domain. And so, yes, we're starting with BitTensor because this is kind of like our proving ground, but then we very much like plan to grow this brand far beyond just BitTensor to just a first-class DEX and a first-class trading experience for crypto holders. And so, you know, being able to trade crypto to Tau, crypto to subnet tokens, later on even like real world asset, there's just a tons of opportunity here that we want to capture over the coming years. And really all of that to enable, right now we're offering just a Chrome extension and obviously like the mobile experience, but we also want to offer a desktop experience, a web experience that allows for kind of like the whales out there to come in and trade and offer experiences for all layers of users and user personas on these various platforms. And all of this, really, everything that we're doing here, essentially, we're building API for our own products, but also we want to expose this API to other folks in the DeFi space. We're already in conversations with some trading shops, trading desks that want to use our API, some other major players that currently you know, manage a lot of money for family offices and so on. So there's we're essentially like already kind of like exploring those avenues with major players in this space to leverage our API. And again, that's just using something that we're already building and just squeezing as much juice out of it. All of that ultimately like leads to our Open Tau token, which is a liquid, yield-bearing liquid stake token. That's we regardless of where you come, right? Like whether it's on your mobile app or the desktop app or API and so on, we are going to drive everything through that Open Tau token. And through various optimization strategies, yield optimization strategies, we just want to offer a very attractive APY, and you know, depending on the time and depending on the strategy, to squeeze a lot more out of what we offer users and offer them APY that is attractive to the tune of 5 to 20%. So that's really like where we're going in 26 and beyond. It's very ambitious. It's very big. We're already in full throttle on this. And that's really the reason why we're actually raising money. We're raising money. I mean, the current business that we built is already a good business. And if we continued executing this strategy, I think we're good to go. We don't need any outside money. Because we're building a very large brand within crypto and the DeFi space, that's the reason why we're actually raising money now. In terms of the revenue model, obviously, as you can expect, you know, as I mentioned before, we're building the DEX for the kind of like for BitTensor, and a lot of folks are talking about BitTensor being the next breakout. And we're not just waiting for that breakout, we're actually bringing it about at every layer with the protocol, with like the user experience, the tools that we build, and so on. As you can expect, we charge fees at every junction. It starts with the validator today that we take 9% take on earnings. And then obviously through all of the liquidity fees that we will be offering through Tau.com. Later on, payments. I can tell you today already through Tau.com, through the mobile app, if there's one thing that we've been most surprised about is how much money actually flowed through the on-ramp to Tau. It's something to the tune. So we use Coinbase right now, which is obviously like not ideal, but just that has been like a volume that is really surprising and I believe that Coinbase actually charges 3% on ramp. We can actually capture that for ourselves rather than give it away to Coinbase, and that's definitely something that is in our plans.
Yeah,
And so when
also like the thing is like we'll have transactions like that are $50,000 that people will want to convert in one single go, and Coinbase will not approve us of those things. So we're going to be optimizing that on ramp, both in terms of efficiency as like a revenue generation system, but then also be able to support the demand that we're seeing.
um, our goal and our plans, and this is based on, again, like the comparables that I mentioned before, like Uniswap and PancakeSwap and so on, just in terms of the growth that we expect to see in the next 3-4 years for BitTensor in terms of the trading volume that today is about $150 million a day, growing it over the next, like that trading volume growing to 600, like 4x is again, like looking at comparables, it is very reasonable. Over time, as we add more and more capabilities, the fees will also grow. And in terms of our market share that we aim here, again, like if you look at what we're doing, like we're a young company within this space, and we're already like making a lot of headway, and people are really looking at us as a major player. And if you look at the user experience and the level of tooling that we offer compared to others in this ecosystem, it's safe to say that we're going to capture a major portion of this market over the coming years. And so just in terms of that, like top line revenue, in terms of run rate, we expect to get to the $1 billion run rate within the next 3 to 4 years. That's I know that it's ambitious, but our ambition so far has proven to be something that we deliver on. All of the hard work that we're putting here in terms of all the infrastructure, the tooling, the user experience, all of that is going to flow, or not going to flow, but like there's going to actually, it's going to express itself in a major upside for Tau, we believe, over the coming years. And we want to capture that upside, right? So if Tau right now is at $300, which we believe is a major bargain when you look at the horizon for the coming years, we not only want to earn that Tau through all of the various activities that I mentioned before, but also we want to buy this Tau at market dips and take advantage of that. And so we are contemplating, it's not part of this seed round, but we are contemplating that strategy to capture that over the upside over the coming years. And so this is kind of like in a nutshell. I know that it was a quick flyby, but kind of like where we are and where we're heading. I'll pause here for a minute and see if you have any questions, any thoughts. Curious to hear what you where you're at with this. Yeah, we earn all of our revenue right now. Yes, it's correlated to Tau. Yes.
Yes.
We earn
however, in the future we're planning to have like a treasury strategy. So depending on like what we want to do with it, we can move that into other assets. We can turn that into stable coins. We can put it into yield bearing solutions. We can build our own yield bearing solution, like we were talking about with OpenTau. So we believe that the Tau asset is going to appreciate very much so over time. However, we're very open to allocating because we understand how market cycles go.
Yeah, and I would just say, like, we are fully aware that this is heavily under optimized right now. There's so much room for improvement and a lot more juice that we can squeeze out of it. But we're a 30 people company, and like we need to kind of like focus our efforts right now where it makes most sense. But definitely, like over the coming month and years, it is very much on our radar to optimize this.
Yes, exactly. So
Yeah.
based on the liquidity pools that we enable, we'll be able to get, whichever asset that comes in play, and we can then from there decide whether we want to keep that asset, whether that's stable coin, whether that's alpha tokens, whether that's actual Tau, and then have like a proper treasury strategy around the assets that we accumulate from there as well.
Yeah, and just so you know, also in terms of the user experience that we're going for, is that we want, as part of a user experience, yes, we're going to allow you to trade other pairs and other tokens, and you will see, for instance, the Ethereum chain right next to a subnet token, right? And so, like, we make essentially the subnet token a first-class citizen, and people will just gravitate towards that because the user experience is kind of like leading you towards that.
Yeah, so we're building an entire intent-based platform, and so we're going to be supporting BNB chain, Base, Solana, and Ethereum on day one when that launches. Then after that, we're going to support Bitcoin because there's a lot of people that that are whales that were like, hey, I have a bunch of Bitcoin, I want to be able to trade all these other assets and then go back from the BitTensor ecosystem or these other ecosystems back in. And we're also going to be focusing in on real world assets. So we're going to work with like Securitize, Superstate, all these different places as well, and basically enable the trading for all these different assets. And so while we will be making a lot of money in Tau, if people decide to use our platform for trading NVIDIA on Solana and then converting that into Bitcoin, we'll support all of those functionalities and then make value as the trades occur and as the money shifts from whichever chain that they deem worthy.
User experience in crypto is still there's still a lot of room for improvement. And by user experience, I don't mean like the UI. I also mean the speed. I also mean the trust. I also mean the like knowing that, hey, my money is safe here. And Tau.com is that's a big part of what we want to bring into this space.
Well, I think it's more people just haven't had the vision in order to like actually enable these different moving pieces. I don't know if you know this, but BitTensor actually has an entire EVM layer. So because of it, having that EVM layer, we can build in Solidity and be able to bring a lot of the DeFi learnings and best practices, and even like fork different systems and enable that in the BitTensor ecosystem. We also are working directly with the foundation. Our one of our co-founders is leading one of the internal foundation teams called the Nucleus team, and we are offering them also substrate engineers to actually make changes to the protocol layer in order to make sure that we are ready to expand across the the 128 subnets that exist today, and then optimize for true scalability in the future.
By the way, 2 years ago, the EVM layer wasn't even available. Right? Yeah. So
A lot has happened.
BitTensor is a lot has happened, but still BitTensor is still very much undernourished when it comes to its DeFi connectivity. Yeah. That's a great question. I think that the BitTensor Foundation has some really major strength when it comes to the protocol itself, and I think where the opportunity for us is, and that's why we're doing it. I think that in terms of kind of like shepherding the community and kind of like leading people towards the promised land, I don't think that that's the kind of like the gift of the foundation, that foundation specifically, and that's where Tau.com really comes in, right? Like there's a reason why Garrett is there. There's a reason why I'm talking to Barry Silver from DCG about a lot of kind of like this shepherding the community and kind of like where we're going, because there is a gap, but there's also wherever there's a gap, there's an opportunity, and I think that that's where Tau.com is going to reap these rewards very much in the coming years.
Yeah, and I think there's a parallel to what's been going on with like Polkadot, for example, where Polkadot had a lot of things happening internally, but what they ended up doing is spinning out a lot of different high talent people and then investing in them and then giving them trust on basically shepherding the next generation of the protocol. And that's effectively why Garrett is working with us, why Yoav, that was working originally with the foundation, is now leading this company. Is we have a lot of that trust and ownership. So we have one third of the ability to like push protocol level changes, and we gladly take that leadership and accountability in order to push towards a greater future for BitTensor. Obviously in partnership with the foundation, but the foundation has given us a lot of trust in order to enable a lot of actions at the protocol layer.
Simply put, it's also in our best interest, right?
Yeah.
We believe in Tau, and we want to see it like appreciate dramatically over the coming years.
They don't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that we're going to replace them fully.
Just
Yeah, I wouldn't say that we're going to replace them. The thing is that, like, obviously the founders have great vision. They have great connections. They are, great speaking heads, and they have great ideas as well. However, as we continue to provide value, they give us, a longer leash and a lot more autonomy. So if in a world, we're making one third of the decisions right now, but maybe we make 50% of the decisions, 60% of the decisions, we're more than open to that. I think, it's proof of work, right? So like, if we continue to add value and continue to push things that will move the protocol forward while also moving our company forward, then I don't see any contention in receiving more opportunity.
And I also want to say that in that regard, we look like we don't, what we believe is decentralization, right? And so we are pushing for decentralizing the network and the ecosystem, and we don't want to become a new bottleneck. Rather, we want to, if you look at the roadmap that we put together, there is a strong emphasis there on governance. There's a strong emphasis there of decentralizing the chain nodes. Those are things that we're not trying to now concentrate it towards ourselves, right, and be self-serving in that regard. We believe that for the protocol to really grow and for people to see the value that we see in the early stages, that's what we need to do. The biggest in what regard? People don't talk about that, so I can't say. I would say that we're definitely a major player. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure I follow. Can you reframe your question? Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Oh,
those stats specifically, I mean, all they are like HODL plays. So, they aren't like actually BitTensor OGs. They don't have like any sort of like deep ingratiation into the players, the whales. They might be a whale themselves now with the DAT, but they're basically just buy, hold, stake, and pray. whereas we are a little bit more full featured as far as like defining our own destiny.
We're also like we're also like going to be driving a lot of it towards the liquid stake token, right? Like so much of that, like we're going to squeeze a lot more out of it because of how we manage our treasury essentially. Uh, what
They buy it
what
from the market directly.
yeah, what do you mean by no. Some subnets actually, what they do is they do OTC deals with their token, so they don't need to actually sell it on the market. So that's actually rather common to go through basically like OTC and do these kind of deals. But the foundation, I don't believe that they are. No, they are not involved in OTC deals like that. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. You know. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. I think it's just like starting a protocol and then shepherding a protocol. It requires two very different skills, right? And so like often the people that start something not necessarily are the one to carry this to the finish line.
Yeah, as long as they're smart enough delegate to other people, and then also our vision is to decentralize a lot of this once we've set the groundwork so that people can be manifesting their own destiny. We're more than happy to take on that responsibility.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually very interesting you say that because I mean, our non-executive chairman, he runs one of the fastest growing hyperscalers for data centers and builds sovereign data centers for like the UK and is backed by NVIDIA and Microsoft and OpenAI. So they're building amazing infrastructure in the data center world. So if we end up in a partnership together over here, I'm sure that that there's other conversations that can lead into data center conversations, obviously outside of our company, but still within the executive leadership team.
Speaking of partnership, I'm actually curious to ask you, Kobe, about the Asian market, right? And kind of like bringing our brand to Asian market. Like, what are your thoughts there? What comes to mind when I say that? Like, what do we need to know? I guess that's my question.
Okay.
Mm, hmm. Yeah. And on the retail side, how would you go about that? Like, what thoughts come to mind? Like to Yeah, like basically to bring a brand like Tao.com to the Asian market, right? And to become a major DEX there and a major player. Like, what do we need to know for doing that and succeeding at that? Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Oh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Interesting. I guess like in terms of like let me actually ask that directly. What we're doing here, is this something which is interesting for you and Fenbushi? Is it something that you want to learn more about?
Yeah, you could see it that way. Yeah, we generate tau. We will be like, the connective tissue and basically the arteries and veins for the entire ecosystem. And because we have a verticalized strategy across mining, subnets, the actual trading infrastructure, there's a lot that we go into to basically add value there.
But I would say that it is buying Tau with leverage, and we're actually going bigger than Tau, and so I think that the leverage is actually pretty meaningful. Mhm. Good. What makes sense is the next step here to. Oh, yeah, so we are raising, I'll go there. We are raising $15 million. We have an anchor lead, which I guess like that's a question for you also that I'm curious. Do you guys lead? Do you guys follow? Like what's kind of like check size usually you write? But generally, like we are raising $15 million for our seed round with a 135 post money. And you can see on the screen basically like how we plan to um, the proceeds, how to use the proceeds of the raise. As I mentioned, we already have a lead like anchored, and we're now basically kind of shopping around for other um, strategic partners that I think will actually add value. And definitely, when Francisco mentioned you guys, I was interested in talking to you. Yeah, DCG are also like we're in close conversations with them about that. Mhm. I'm talking to the head poncho, Barry Silver. Yeah. It's both Yuma and DCG, and like as a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm having lunch with them. So yeah, we're very close with them. Pretty well. Yuma is actually they're a little bit like us, drama free. They just go about their business, growing their bags, and I honestly I don't think that Yuma actually gets enough credit for what they're doing and what they've done to this ecosystem. But at the same time, I don't think that Barry actually is looking for the credit. I think he's looking to make money, and I think he's doing that. Yuma is investing in subnets directly, not like in portcos per se, and so that's a different angle for us that we're talking to Yuma about, or talking to DCG about actually. Correct. Yeah. 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 They basically what they do is that they fund the slots and some opex for the early days of a subnet, and then they take a portion of the owner key emissions. So that's kind of how they go about it. Correct. Yeah, you're right.
Probably won't
Say it
issue
again.
any token. Go ahead.
I'm not, so this is a strictly equity position right now. So there are no tokens that we issue. Obviously, like later on, if when we issue if we issue tokens, then obviously like any investor will be part of that as well.
Yeah, this is not. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, whatever assets that are part of this entity, you will be, as an equity holder, you will have a share in them, and you're welcome to also participate in.
And I think the question specifically was like, what is the liquidity strategy? Like, are we going IPO, or like, are there going to be
I'm sorry.
opportunities across the journey for liquidity?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I think that there are a few options here. One is that, look, like, we're building something which is a major brand within a hot space, which is AI and crypto. I would not be surprised if other established players look at us and say, "Hey, we wanna snatch that." So that's one option. I also don't rule out at all, like, just going all the way and actually, like, going public. That's also, personally, for me as a CEO, I think it's an interesting avenue to explore. Obviously, like, we'll do that if it makes sense. But those are definitely, both of these options are on the table right now. And what we're doing, what we've done, I think, fairly well in the past year, is that we're building a very strong operational execution engine. And I believe that when you do great and when you build valuable stuff, then multiple opportunities actually present themselves. Mm-hmm. Hmm. I guess as a next step, does it make sense to have a follow-up call with more team members on your end and like, see where we want to take this? What do you suggest? Yeah, absolutely. I can invite you to the data room. Yeah. Okay, sounds good. I will send you an invite to the data room, and yeah, if any other questions come up, let me know. Say that again? I would expect within in the next 2 weeks. Yeah, but we're just like negotiating term sheet and so on. So where things are at. Sounds good. Kobe, pleasure meeting you. Thank you for taking the time, and I'll send you the data room. And if you have any questions, just let me know.
Great. Thanks.
Bye.
Have a good one. Bye-bye. I don't have your Telegram. Why don't you yeah. Hilarious. Who uses emails? Yeah, Yoav, Kobe was saying that we should use Telegram to communicate moving forward. So let's do that. What's your Telegram? Yeah.
Yeah, what's your Telegram? Oh, okay, cool.
Boom.
Okay, doc. Hey, Kobe, this is your tab. Great. Now we got online. Okay, doc. Thank you, sir.
Cheers, man.
Bye. Take
Bye.
care.